Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road in the USA, and I'm here today with a tutorial for the Craft O'Clock creative team. Today I'm showing you how to create this beautiful anniversary card, and it's got a removable, like a belly band, and it's an accordion card that opens up, and this is for a 50th anniversary, and you could put photos there like then and now photos. And there's really nice quotes. There's a little envelope where you can put a little gift card or, some gift money. And it also opens up the other way for more then and now photos and some beautiful little decorative tags. You can also stick some other memorabilia or something else cute in the little hidden pocket in the back. So let's get started, and today we're using the Our Story paper collection by Craft O'Clock. This is the 20 and 32 centimeter by 30 and 5 centimeter collection, or the 8 by 12 inches. So let me give you just a quick look at the papers in the collection. That is just beautiful. Now we're going to use the lace pattern right there to create our belly band. Lots of beautiful variety. This size is great for mini albums or cards or scrapbooking. We're also going to use one of the envelopes to cut from the envelopes extras. We're also going to use some of the extras to cut. There's plenty to use for several different projects just from one sheet. And these are fussy cut elements. We're also going to use the second variety sheet of extras to cut. And this is the premium collection, so it has a glittery finish. We're also going to use some of the quotes, and this is from the Special Occasions Quotes 5, which is for wedding and anniversary, and they have Polish on one side and English on the other. So really we just want to fold that into thirds, whatever paper we choose. I'm going to score mine first. Now here we'll cut the lace from the two other sheets from the collection. And there's really no measurements here. I'm just cutting the lace portion off of the top and the bottom of each of these pages. And then I will use my regular scissors to fussy cut that out. And I'll do the same thing with the two other pieces. Well, they're the same piece, but it's the other side of the same piece. And we'll leave the middle for another project. Now I have some measurements here if you'd like to take a screenshot, and I'll leave them there as I'm assembling the belly band. But I want to mention that the measurements are for if you put just your whole strip of paper down on your scoreboard. Now what I'm doing is I really want to match up this one part of the lace on the card specifically. So those measurements may not be exact, but if you didn't want to fussy cut the lace and you just wanted to use a straight band, you could put the band down and use those measurements and it would score perfectly. Those were the original measurements and they will work every time. Now I'm going to connect these lace pieces. Now you wouldn't have to use the lace part if you don't like to do a lot of fussy cutting, or this just seems too complicated, this part. You could take another strip of the pattern paper from this collection and just cut a rectangle shape. And that way you could use those measurements there to score and create your belly band. Now I'm going to cut a small strip from this leftover piece. I want to try to cover up, there's a seam where I attached the two lace pieces together. So I'm going to put a small strip on top of that to cover it up. Now this belly band will fold around the accordion card to keep it closed. So I want to make sure that when I put this green strip on top that I'm not creating another seam, because that would defeat the purpose. And it's two-sided, which is nice. Now again, I could use those measurements there, and those are the original measurements. If I just put that whole strip down on my scoreboard and scored, it would be perfect. But I want that specific area in front of the card, so I'm just going to eyeball it. And then from those measurements, I will add an additional 1/4 of an inch. I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch. Just to create a little bit of an allowance. As I create the accordion card more, there will be some dimension there, so I have to allow for the belly band to slide over top. Another way you could do this to create the perfect fit is to actually create the belly band part of the project last, because then you could already be able to tell how thick your card is. That is perfect. Now we have a lot of extra here on our belly band, but we're actually going to use the excess that we cut off here to make a pocket. And we're going to decorate right over top of that seam there. Now here are some of the extras to cut just right off of the extras sheet. And we're really going to dress up this belly band. It's the main part of the front of the card, so we can take a little extra time on that part. What I really like about Craft-A-Clock paper is that the designs, the graphic designs of the paper are so nice. They're so beautiful that you don't need to spend a lot of time dressing up your entire project. You can focus on one or two main things to really dress up, put a lot of detail and time and work in, and the rest of it speaks for itself. Now I'm using a metal stylus here to push some of these flowers just slightly into a piece of foam. And that gives the flowers just a little bit of dimension. It makes them curl up like real flowers. And then I can just use my glue gun. And when I stick down the little embellishments, there's some gold wedding bands that I'm adding. And I'll do the same with the flowers, and then they just seem to pop right off the page. Now this belly band is created from a 1 inch by 12 inch or 2 5/4 centimeters by 30 5 centimeter piece of paper. So if you wanted to change it up and use a different paper instead of the lace, that is the size of that belly band. That looks so good. Now, the benefit of creating the belly band first or early on in the project is you can work the rest of the card around that belly band. That is looking beautiful so far. It needs something in this upper corner, but I don't want to put any more embellishments because I won't be able to slide the belly band off and on easily. So I'm just going to add some Distress Oxide ink to the corner, and this is frayed burlap. And it looked so good that I decided to add a little bit more to the other corners as well. Now notice how I didn't go all the way down the middle of the card. I really just hit the corners and then about halfway down the middle, and that makes it look a little bit more natural. And you don't need a lot of ink. You'll notice I haven't even re-inked my blender tool since I did it that second time. That looks much better. Let me show you with against a white background. See how it adds just a little bit without taking away from the design of the card. Now this is one of the envelopes to cut, and I had a piece of, it's like a metal square brad frame from my stash, and I thought that would be just a nice little closure, something to hold the envelope closed. If you don't have something like that, you could just use a little string, or you could use your craft knife and cut a small slit, and then you could tuck that little envelope, that top part, you could tuck it right into the slit. But that looks really nice, and it's just brads, and like I said, I just had it in my stash. Now I put my scoring tool there inside the envelope while I was pressing on the glue, just so I could not have it be totally flat, because it might crack or rip if I did it the other way. That looks really good. Now I had this other extra from the envelopes to cut that I really wanted to use somewhere by the envelope. There you can put your gift card inside, or money inside if you like. That looks really, really good. Now see over on the bottom left of the card, there's a similar design there of the diamond shape embellishment, but on the bottom, it's off the camera right now, on the left where the cake is, you can see that it's that same diamond pattern. So by putting one on the right side, you're creating some balance. Beautiful. That's just beautiful. Now what I'd really like to do is create a pocket on the back with my leftover piece of belly band. First, I'm going to put a little background piece, and this is from that same piece of pattern paper that we cut the lace from in the first place. And there's the scrap left over from the belly band. Now I'm trimming off the excess, but I have to think about how this is going to look on the card and how I'm going to create the pocket, especially at the bottom. I wanted that higher part of the lace in the center. I was going to just cut that straight across the bottom. And then I thought maybe I can just trim this part off. And I liked that a lot. That looks really good. So to create the pocket, I'm really just going to put the glue on 3 sides. Very, very, very thin. A thin line. And I'm just pressing this down. I have a little plastic, just a piece of plastic that I use to burnish down my glue. And that way you could put a gift card there, you could put gift money there, photos, tickets, if you're giving vacation tickets, holiday tickets. Any kind of gift certificate, just a lot of variety there with the different pockets. Now I'm going to use another piece of paper from the collection, and I want to create some photo mats. I think it's nice in anniversary cards when you put a photo from the wedding and then a photo of what the couple looks like today. And I'm just trimming down 2 pieces. Once I decide on a size I like, I really don't have measurements. It's just eyeballing, thinking about what kind of size pictures I would want or what looks good on the card. I'm going to ink the edges a little bit more. And that way I could put the photos there. Now this lower rectangle there, I have to be mindful that I can't place it all the way flat down. I'm going to have to leave some space without tape, or we're never going to be able to fit a picture behind it. So there, we left the top without the tape, and now we can slide the picture behind it for behind. And that looked so good, I wanted to put another set of photo mats right back there. So I'm using the same piece of paper, And I really should have done this ahead of time, but I didn't. And I liked the size, so I'm just going to mark on that paper what size, just with my pencil, I'll mark the size of my photo mats that were on the front of the card. And I just cut that based on the size. Make sure it matches, which it does. I thought about using the green side, but decided not to. More ink around the edges. Now here are some tags that were cut from the back of the packaging of the collection, and I just had some eyelets in my stash, so I'm punching a hole and using my eyelet tool. It's a crocodile, just to make the eyelet just right there in the hole. And if you don't have eyelets or a crocodile tool, that's fine. This is just a detail I chose to add to my project. I'm fitting the ribbon right through. This is just ribbon from my stash as well. And those little tags are perfect for our little pocket. I love that the tags are on the back of the packaging. I'm just setting a few acrylic blocks down on top of the congratulations quote that I used to help settle and set the hot glue. And a little bit more ink around the outside edges of those little tags. There's so many fun embellishments to add, from the extras to cut sheet. Usually I spend a few days and cut all of them out and just keep them in a little container or a little bag. This time I just cut out the few that I wanted. I didn't want to put too many embellishments by the photo mats because I have to remember that photos will be going there. So we want to keep the focus on the photos. But I love the little bows, and the little champagne bottle is so cute. So I'm going to put one of those little bows right on top of the champagne bottle. I like the quotes too because the quotes come with a lot of variety. Good for a wedding or anniversary. Doesn't have to be a 50th, but they do include a few quotes for a 50th anniversary and a 25th anniversary, as well as a few others also. There were so many embellishments I wanted to use. I really wanted to use that phone and the dinner plate and the flowers and the heart and there were just so many things I wanted to use, and I was trying not to do too much. Sometimes they can look a little busy. But I had to think that what does the card look like when the belly band is on there? And I had to have something flat so we could slide that belly band up and down. And I thought the little balloons will look perfect because they can stay flat, but they can also just contribute a little bit to the decoration for the top of the card. The paper itself does the majority of the decorating. There's not a lot you have to do. I like to play with paper, so I enjoy adding flowers and dimension, but just the paper itself is so pretty. You could do a lot with it. Now I have some little tiny glue dots. They're so small. And I'm going to add some to the base of this cake image that I cut out. And only to one side of the cake. I have to leave the other side open so that you can slide the picture behind it. See, and if I glued it down, you'd never fit the picture there. See how you can just slide that in there. Now this, I'm putting some glue dots on this quote, and I'm gluing the quote to the flowers first. Then I can glue the whole set of flowers down somewhere else. Now if you look across the card from left to right, you can see there's a quote on the left bottom, then there's a quote in the middle of the middle. So you have to consider where your third one will go. Now there's a little seam right there where we connected the belly band in the first place. So I'm going to use another embellishment from the extras to cut just to cover that seam. And then because that's the belly band that holds everything together, this looks so good. I'm going to add a quote on the back at the last minute. Now I really wanted to add a bow to the front, so I'm just using my fingers to create a little double bow. I was going to put it on the cake somewhere, and then I was going to put it right above the quote. But I thought, if I put it on the belly band, then it could slide off and not get in the way. So I decided to do that. So I'm going to use my glue gun, put a gob of glue right there, and then press the bow and use a craft stick to just hold it in place for just a minute or two. And that will do it. This looks beautiful. I love it. There's the front and the back of the completed card. We're going to leave that blank, that one side, so that we could slide the belly band up and down. It would be too complicated if there were embellishments on the back, and it's not necessary. And that is our completed card. It looks beautiful. I love it. I love it. Now it just needed one more final touch. So I found this quote. It says "joined by love," and I thought it was perfect because the belly band is the thing that is holding the card together. Perfect, perfect, perfect for the anniversary. So thank you so much to Craft a Clock for providing the products today. And I'm going to show you some close-ups at the end here of the video of the finished project. If you're interested in this Our Story paper collection, you can pick it up at the Sandpaper Road shop, and there are links in the description box to all the products you see here. It looks really good. I had a great time making this, and I know you will too. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.